How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slap Cam. If you want to see some scary videos, then you're in the right spot. Just hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. Our first set of scary videos have left viewers creeped out. In early 2026, a strange mystery began unfolding around an abandoned house in Plainfield, Illinois. Neighbors had noticed something odd for weeks. An empty, boarded-up home was flashing lights late at night. Not randomly, but in a pattern that looked deliberate. The situation escalated when TikTok user Extraordinary Joseph filmed the house and shared what he was seeing. In the footage, a light on the front porch begins blinking. SOS. As the videos continue, more lights appear to join in. One on the side porch, then another at the back of the house. All flashing in the same unmistakable Morse code pattern. The house is clearly abandoned. Windows boarded, no visible occupants, and according to local records, no active electricity connected to the property. The clips quickly spread across TikTok and Reddit, and concern turned into urgency. Viewers began speculating that someone could be trapped inside, that battery-powered lines were being used to signal for help, that the house itself was trying to communicate something was wrong. Police were contacted, and eventually national media took notice. According to reporting from NBC Chicago and official statements from the Plainfield Police Department, officers conducted multiple checks of the property. They searched the perimeter. They examined the snow around the house. They contacted the homeowner directly. There were no footprints, no signs of forced entry, and no one inside the home. After a full investigation, police claim they know the cause of the eerie signals. The lights were malfunctioning solar-powered security lights. Many solar lights include a built-in emergency or strobe mode. In this case, extreme cold temperatures and low battery voltage caused the internal circuitry to glitch. The result was an automatic SOS flashing pattern, triggered without any human input. Police stressed that while the pattern appeared intentional, it was purely a mechanical failure, not a distress call, not a hidden occupant. The incident caused a surge of calls to local authorities, and officers eventually asked the public to stop visiting the property, warning that it was private land and posed safety risks. What began as a chilling mystery ended with a grounded explanation. But for a brief moment, a silent house flashing SOS captured the attention and concern of an entire community. So what do you make of the Plainfield SOS house? Was it really malfunctioning solar lights, or is there more to the story? This strange clip first appeared online back in 2019, after being uploaded to YouTube by a channel called My Village Plants. The uploader claimed the object on camera was a pair of antique goggles dating back to 1818 and allegedly linked to the East India Company. At the time, the video flew largely under the radar, but years later it began resurfacing on Instagram and TikTok, where it sparked a fresh wave of speculation. In the footage, the goggles are held up close to the camera. But when the camera looks through them, something unusual appears. Through a solid wall, the view suddenly changes. It looks like rushing water, almost like an ocean or fast-moving current. The goggles are shifted slightly and the image changes again. Now a mud brick wall comes into view. It appears as though the goggles are revealing what's on the other side of the structure. To test this, the uploader moves to the opposite side of the wall. Sitting there is a metallic canister, exactly where the goggles appeared to show it. When the clip began circulating again, viewers were quick to draw their own conclusions. Some suggested clever camera tricks or editing, others proposed optical illusions or pre-planned staging, but a more speculative theory quickly gained traction. A number of viewers claimed the goggles were not human technology at all. They suggested the East India Company may have recovered them from a crashed object, possibly even a downed UFO. According to that theory, the goggles were reverse engineered, or quietly hidden away, long before modern science could understand what they were capable of. As of now, there's no verified explanation for what the clip actually shows, but the footage continues to circulate, raising the same question each time it resurfaces. So what do you think these strange goggles really are? A clever illusion from an old video? A misunderstood historical artifact? Or something far more advanced hiding in plain sight?
So I have this little room up in my attic and I want to show you guys what I found in here.
This unsettling discovery was shared by TikTok user US 4.4 Life while renovating her home.
I've been up here 2 times. I've lived in this house for 3 years and I've been here. This will be my 2nd time.
She explained that she'd lived in the house for around 3 years but had only been up into the attic twice. It wasn't a space she used, and until recently it wasn't one she'd really examined.
And I started doing some picking up, but that's my house down there.
That changed when she decided to clean it out and see if it could be used for storage. In the footage, she climbs up into a small attic room.
I'll show you guys what I found in here, but first, look at this. I've been up here 2 times. I've lived in this house for 3 years, and I've been here. This will be my 2nd time.
The space immediately feels unusual. The room is narrow, the ceiling slopes sharply, and the door itself is oddly small.
And this is, so if you close the door, look how tiny it is. But look at the doorknob.
The doorknob sits extremely low, barely a foot off the ground.
But look at the doorknob, it's literally a foot away from the ground. Look at that.
Tucked away within the wall, she discovers an old toy car.
I found this little guy up here.
She explains that the toy was hidden inside a cavity behind the wall, a space she hadn't known existed.
And I found him back here, in this hole. I covered it back up because it's a little scary, but it's full of things.
Curious, she pushes her camera further into the opening.
Oh, what?
At the far end, a light can be seen.
Oh, what?
And then suddenly, a human head appears.
Oh, what?
It's there only briefly, just long enough to be noticed before the clip cuts off.
Oh, what?
The uploader sounds genuinely startled. She asks what she's just seen and admits she has no idea where that space leads or who the figure could belong to.
Oh, what?
After the video was uploaded, it quickly went viral. Millions of viewers began analysing the footage frame by frame. Some suggested it could be a trick of perspective, shadows, or a reflection. Others believed the space might connect to another part of the house, a crawl space, a sealed room, or an old renovation void. In a follow-up video, the homeowner attempted to address those theories. She walked viewers through the house, showing that there were no visible holes in the ceilings, no open passages, and no obvious way for someone to be inside the walls.
There's no mirrors. I know you guys were saying, oh, there's a mirror. There's no mirror. No holes.
She also stated she was home alone at the time.
Plus, I was by myself. There was nobody in here. There was nobody walking around. This is the closet.
As the mystery grew, some viewers began comparing the space to what's known as a disappointment room. A hidden attic room historically built into older homes, sometimes used to conceal unwanted family members or simply sealed away and forgotten. There's no evidence that this attic space was ever used that way, but the strange layout, the hidden cavities, and the unexplained figure were enough to leave viewers unsettled. So what do you think was really caught on camera here? A trick of light inside a forgotten attic space, a misunderstood structural void, or something or someone never meant to be found?
This is crazy. Listen to this audio clip and tell me what you hear.
This strange audio experiment has been circulating online, and it's left a lot of people questioning how much they can really trust their own senses. Once played, this next sound will change your brain forever. Once you hear the full sound, your brain will never be the same again. Listen to this first snippet of audio.
This is crazy. Listen to this audio clip and tell me what you hear.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
Chances are it's messy, robotic, almost like meaningless noise. Most people can't make out any clear words at all.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
Now listen to this second clip.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
This time the voice is clear.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
All right,
Now let's listen to the first audio snippet again.
All right, so now if I replay the first clip or you rewind this video and go back and listen to it, you will hear it completely differently. Check it out.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
Right?
Suddenly something changes.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
The same jumble of sounds now seems to contain recognizable words. Fragments of the sentence appear to jump out of the noise. Many people report hearing it clearly, even though the audio itself hasn't changed at all.
Right? It's because your brain is constantly trying to take in audio, visual information and interpret it.
The explanation lies in how the brain processes information. Our brains are constantly trying to interpret sound, even when the signal is unclear. When there's no context, the mind struggles. But once the brain is given a framework, a sentence, a pattern, a clue, it begins predicting what it expects to hear. When the original clip is replayed, the brain overlays that expectation onto the noise. And from that point on, it becomes almost impossible to hear the sound the way you did the first time.
It was a sunny day and the
Nothing about the audio changes, only your perception does.
children were going to the park.
Experiments like this highlight how easily our senses can be influenced, and how confidently the brain can rewrite reality once it thinks it understands what's happening. So what do you make of this illusion? A harmless quirk of human perception? Or a reminder that what we think we're hearing isn't always what's really there?
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
All right, so now if I replay the first clip or you rewind this video and go back and listen to it, you will hear it completely differently. Check it out.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
This viral clip was shared by Instagram user Azubuiki, who regularly posts about his spiritual practices and what he believes are emerging superhuman abilities. He's built an online following documenting meditation, energy work, and moments he claims show a deeper connection to the world around him. One video in particular sparked intense debate. In the footage, Asabuki stands at the base of a towering skyscraper. He positions himself, takes a breath, and begins making slow, deliberate movements. He looks upward, focuses, and gestures toward the top of the building. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning strikes the roof. Asabuki reacts immediately, saying that's exactly where he was aiming. At first, it could be dismissed as coincidence, a single strike, right place, right time. But the clip continues. He centers himself again, stands still, focuses once more on the same point. And then a second bolt of lightning hits the exact same spot on the building. The timing is precise, the location identical, and the moment leaves many viewers stunned. In another video, the OP appears indoors, standing beneath a fluorescent ceiling light. Once again, he slows his breathing and seems to concentrate. Moments later, the light above him begins to flicker. There's no visible switch being touched. When these clips spread online, reactions poured in. Some viewers were convinced they were watching real superpowers caught on camera. They pointed to the repetition, the precision, and the confidence with which the OP claimed control over the events. Others offered more grounded explanations. They suggested lightning-prone structures, weather conditions, electrical interference, or confirmation bias, making coincidences feel intentional. Skeptics also noted how easy it is to attribute meaning to rare events once a narrative is established, especially when the camera is already rolling. So what do you think these clips really show? A remarkable coincidence captured at just the right moment? Or something far harder to explain? This footage was shared by TikTok user UFO Girly, also known as Sarah, who regularly documents what she believes are unexplained aerial phenomena. According to Sarah, this particular clip was filmed in Nebraska, Iowa, on a clear night using a Psionics Aurora Pro Color night vision camera. She explained that the original recording ran for around 5 minutes and was later sped up to show the activity more clearly. Small points of light begin to appear above the trees. At first, they look like faint stars, but then they start to move. Several glowing orbs hover in place. Others drift slowly across the sky. A few brighten, dim, and then fade out entirely. The lights don't follow a straight path. They change direction subtly, they pause, then continue moving. Some appear briefly before vanishing, while others remain visible for longer stretches of time. All of it unfolds quietly, with no visible aircraft, blinking navigation lights, or obvious sound. When the clip was posted online, it quickly drew attention from viewers familiar with night vision footage. Some suggested the lights could be stars, planets, or satellites enhanced by the sensitivity of the camera. Others pointed to insects, dust, or distant aircraft reflecting infrared light. But many viewers weren't convinced by those explanations. They argued the movement patterns didn't match satellites or planes, and noted how frequently the orbs appeared on clear nights in Sarah's other videos. Sarah herself says she regularly observes similar lights and believes they represent ongoing UAP activity, something she says she's simply documenting rather than explaining. As with many sightings captured on specialized cameras, there's no definitive conclusion. The footage remains open to interpretation. So what do you think these glowing orbs really are? Natural objects made strange by night vision technology, or something unidentified quietly moving above the tree line? This latest rumor began circulating on X after a short video clip quickly gained traction within UFO circles.
Hello, and thank you for all your support here on X. I just want to clarify a few things regarding President Trump and UFO disclosure.
The post claims that President Donald Trump is preparing to announce the existence of extraterrestrial life, with a proposed date of July 8th, 2026, the anniversary of the Roswell incident.
My source, who I trust implicitly and has been vetted, they have told me that President Trump has written his UFO disclosure speech with his advisors.
In the video, Mark Christopher Lee speaks directly to camera. He states that a speech has already been drafted, that it confirms non-human intelligence, and that July 8th was chosen deliberately to align with Roswell.
And is set to announce to the world on July the 8th, the anniversary of the Roswell crash, that we are not alone.
He then adds an important caveat. According to Lee, the announcement could come sooner, because as he puts it, Trump is unpredictable.
President Trump is a maverick and he does what he wants when he wants, so maybe it will come sooner.
Some podcasters and independent filmmakers expressed excitement, calling it the moment they'd been waiting for. Others pointed out that similar disclosure predictions have surfaced repeatedly over the years, each time with firm dates and no follow-through. As of now, there is no verified evidence that any announcement is planned, no peer-reviewed confirmation of extraterrestrial contact, and no indication that July 8th holds any official significance beyond speculation. Still, the story continues to spread, a familiar pattern in a subject that thrives on anticipation and secrecy. So what do you think this really is? A genuine leak pointing to something historic? Or just the latest chapter in a long line of disclosure promises that never quite materialize? This disturbing piece of footage was captured in Thailand more than 17 years ago, during what was meant to be an ordinary night among friends. The video later resurfaced on a Thai television chat show where hosts and guests analysed what appeared in the recording and the tragic story attached to it. According to the report, the footage was filmed at a small house party in Lampang on December 15th. A group of friends had gathered to hang out. One friend hadn't arrived yet. They were waiting for him. In the clip, the party is already underway. People stand around, chatting and laughing. Nothing seems unusual at first. The camera pans across the room. And for just a moment, a figure can be seen sitting among the group. But according to everyone who attended the party, that seat was empty. No one was sitting there at the time. The footage continues. no one reacts. No one notices anything out of place. It's only later, after the video is reviewed, that the group learns the truth. The friend they were waiting for, Ronakorn Jaipech, aged 27, never made it to the party. On his way there, his motorcycle collided with a pickup truck near the Lampang Wiang Thong hotel intersection. He was killed instantly. His skull was crushed, his neck broken, his limbs severely injured. His girlfriend, who was riding with him, was badly hurt, but survived. When friends looked back at the party footage, they were shaken. The figure sitting in the video appeared to look exactly like Ronakorn. Some claim they could even see marks on his face, what looked like blood, injuries consistent with the accident. The clip spread quickly among friends, students, and local communities. Every person at the party reportedly insisted on the same detail. No one was sitting in that spot. The Thai TV hosts were visibly unsettled as they reviewed the footage. Some beliefs suggest that in rare cases, a person who dies suddenly may not realize what's happened, that they might appear briefly in familiar places before disappearing for good. There's no definitive explanation for what was captured in that room, no technical analysis that fully resolves it, only a video, and a story that still gives people chills. If you want to see more scary videos just like these, then hit that subscribe button and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll always know when we drop the freshest and spookiest clips on the internet. In early 1958, a quiet street in Seaford, Long Island became the centre of a case that still unsettles investigators today. Not because the house was old, not because it had a dark history, but because it was brand new by haunting standards. The home at 1648 Redwood Path was a modern, post-war ranch-style build, only about 5 years old. A neat suburban place, 1 bathroom, 3 bedrooms, a divided basement, the kind of home you would expect to be boring, predictable, and safe. Instead, it became the scene of roughly 70 documented disturbances over just 37 days. And many of those incidents were witnessed by police. The family living there, the Hermans, were not fringe types chasing attention. James Herman Sr. worked for Air France. He was a decorated combat marine and a reserve captain in the local auxiliary police. His wife Lucille was a registered nurse. They were devout Catholics, known as stable, respectable people in their community. And that matters because this case wasn't built on one person's story. It was built on repeated professional observation. The disturbances began on Monday, February 3rd, 1958 at about 3:30 in the afternoon, right around the time the kids got home from school. The first sign wasn't an apparition or a voice, it was sound. A sharp popping noise like champagne corks firing off. When the family checked, bottles across multiple rooms had been uncapped and tipped over. Liquid starch in the kitchen, shampoo and medicine in the bathroom, a vial of holy water on the parents' dresser, bleaching fluid in the basement utility room. Different rooms, different bottles, same result. Caps removed, contents spilled. And these weren't corks. They were screw-top caps that needed several rotations to undo. Nothing carbonated, nothing under pressure. Even the holy water was tested and confirmed to be plain water, ruling out some strange chemical buildup. It looked like deliberate action, but no one could explain how it happened so quickly across the house. James Sr. did what a lot of parents would do. He suspected his son, 12-year-old Jimmy, had an interest in science, and his father wondered if this was a clever prank using simple tricks. Over the following days, he watched his son closely, checked bottles, and tried to catch him in the act. Then came the moment that changed the entire tone of the case. On February 9th, James Sr. was standing at the bathroom doorway watching Jimmy brush his teeth, while the boy was right there. Hands occupied, 2 bottles on the vanity reportedly moved across a dry surface and crashed into the sink and onto the floor. No contact, no bump, no obvious explanation. For an auxiliary police captain to witness something like that up close is the point where it stopped being a family argument and became a formal investigation. The Nassau County Police arrived. Patrolman James Hughes responded first. He was skeptical, like most would be. But as he interviewed the family in the living room, he heard more popping from the bathroom. When he went to check, bottles that had been upright and sealed were suddenly spilled. Hughes later reported seeing caps pop and fly in his direction. It wasn't a story he heard, it was something he watched happen, and he radioed it in as a serious situation. The department then assigned Detective Joseph Tozzi, a veteran investigator with no interest in the supernatural. He approached the house like a crime scene, looking for wires, magnets, hidden devices, chemical propellants, anything that could explain moving objects and popping caps. Instead, he encountered escalation. Reports describe a heavy bureau tipping forward onto its face without anyone touching it. A porcelain figurine lifting off a table, traveling through the air and smashing while the children sat watching television. And then the incident that made Tozzi famous in paranormal circles. In the basement, a bronze horse statue said to weigh close to 100 pounds launched through the air and struck him in the legs. Tozzi insisted the child was in his direct sight on the stairs at the time, nowhere near the statue's original position. If that account is accurate, it is incredibly difficult to square with a simple prank. Tozzi didn't stop at witness statements. He brought in specialists. The Long Island Lighting Company installed sensitive monitoring equipment in the basement to detect vibrations or structural movement. No tremors, no rhythmic settling, nothing that could explain objects sliding or launching. Town building inspectors examined the house and declared it structurally sound. RCA engineers checked for irregular radio signals or transmissions that might trigger odd effects. Nothing. The police laboratory tested liquids and containers, looking for signs of foreign chemicals, pressure-creating agents, or residues that might suggest dry ice tricks or carbonating tablets. Again, nothing. Even sonic booms were investigated through flight records, no correlation. The one thing they did find was a pattern. The activity clustered around the children. There was another detail that made the family particularly uneasy. Their holy water kept getting targeted. On the first day, the vial on the parents' dresser was found uncapped and spilled. It happened again and again. And in one reported incident, police watching the dresser claimed the holy water bottle was picked up and smashed onto the floor by an unseen force. At one point, James Sr. picked up a holy water bottle and described it as strangely warm to the touch. If true, it suggests more than movement. It hints at energy being transferred or generated in a way that would be very hard to fake convincingly under observation. The family called in a priest, Father William McLeod, who performed a formal blessing and sprinkled holy water throughout the home. The disturbances continued. So if this was a spiritual attack, it wasn't impressed. And if it wasn't spiritual, the symbolism still mattered. In a strict, devout household, holy water represents authority, order, and control, which makes its repeated destruction feel almost personal. By late February, the case drew outside scientific interest. Researchers linked to Duke University's parapsychology work arrived to observe and interview the family. They focused heavily on Jimmy. At the time, there was a growing idea that many poltergeist cases were not caused by ghosts, but by something centered on a living person, usually an adolescent. Stress, puberty, tension, conflict. The theory was that this internal pressure might somehow manifest outward as kinetic events. They later gave this idea a name: recurrent spontaneous psychokinesis, RSPK. Not a spirit, not a demon, but the human mind pushing on the physical world unconsciously. The problem is, the phenomenon didn't cooperate. As the house filled with investigators and equipment, the activity diminished. Some called it shyness, others called it the practical reality of a prankster stopping when professionals arrived. Either way, the window for definitive proof began to close. Soon, the story exploded in the media. Magazines ran the case nationally. Crowds gathered outside the house. Strangers turned up offering help, prayers, and opinions. The family reportedly received thousands of letters. And over time, the Seaford disturbances became part of pop culture. Many people believe it was a major real-world influence on the suburban terror story later seen in the 1982 film Poltergeist. The details line up in a way that is hard to ignore. A modern family home, unexplained household activity, police involvement, university researchers, a sense that something is targeting the domestic space itself. But unlike the film, the Seaford case didn't end with a portal or a dramatic final act. It ended quietly. The disturbances stopped as abruptly as they began around March 10, 1958. The family eventually moved on, and for decades they avoided the spotlight. So what was Popper? Skeptics argue it was a bright, scientifically minded 12-year-old staging a month-long series of pranks, with adults misinterpreting what they saw. Supporters argue that weeks of police surveillance, lab testing, and repeated professional witnesses make that explanation too thin, especially when it comes to heavy objects moving while officers were watching. And then there is the most unsettling possibility. That for 37 days in a normal house on a normal street, something happened that didn't care about engineers, priests, or police. Something that left no residue, no mechanism, and no clear source. What do you think this was? A brilliant hoax that fooled everyone, or a rare case where the house itself behaved like it was alive? Oh hey, well that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more scary videos, then check out those 2 links right there. Leave us some comments down below. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Peace!